When architects build a physical house, they're bound by gravity, zoning laws, and, the limits of their materials. But when you build a universe entirely inside your own mind, the only limit is, well, the psychological blueprint of what you need to survive.
Right, and unlike a physical house, you can just construct the laws of physics, the inhabitants, and the very fabric of reality to directly counteract whatever is hurting you in the real world.
Exactly. So you're tuning into a deep dive today where we have a stack of sources looking at the self-created multiverses of two autistic creators, Chris Chan and Divine, who is also known as DivineFalcon5.
Yeah, and we aren't just rehashing their lore today.
No, not at all. Our mission is to explore why they built these worlds in the first place, comparing their universes, character designs, behavioral responses, and how their internal architectures actually bleed into physical reality.
You see that internal architecture instantly in how they present themselves in everyday life. Like Chris Chan is famously known for a very specific, unchangeable uniform.
Striped polo. Right.
Yeah, the striped polo shirt, bulky glasses, and a hand-painted Crayola model magic medallion. It's not just a wardrobe choice. I mean, maintaining that rigid uniform is a way to exert control.
Interesting.
And that medallion functions basically as a physical anchor to the fictional identity, like a name tag for CWCville.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because while Chris relies on rigidity, Divine's real-life aesthetic serves a much more functional neurological purpose. Divine sports a messy wolf cut that later evolved into a pixie cut, paired with tank tops and, crucially, prominent black over-ear headphones.
Which is so important to note.
Right. For an autistic individual navigating a loud, unpredictable world, those headphones aren't just an accessory. They are a vital defense mechanism to manage sensory overload. So it represents a totally different behavioral response to their autism diagnoses.
Which actually traces back to how they each processed early trauma. Chris, who was diagnosed early and became selectively mute after a childhood incident, responded to a confusing reality through heavy magical thinking.
Wait, magical thinking? Like literal magic?
Well, magical thinking is when someone believes their internal thoughts or fictional creations have tangible power to alter physical reality.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it became an escalating retreat that eventually led to Chris declaring herself a goddess and the reincarnation of Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow. Well, Divine takes the absolute opposite approach. Diagnosed at age 5, Divine proudly embraces the autism label. I mean, literally telling online detractors to haters step off.
I love that energy.
Yeah, it's great. Instead of using imagination as a retreat from reality, Divine actively uses the creative process, the world building itself, as a form of anxiety therapy. It becomes a tool for establishing emotional boundaries rather than erasing the real world entirely.
So if Chris's world acts as a defensive fortress...
Literally pulling up the drawbridge to hide from internet trolls and real-world consequences.
Yes, exactly. So if Chris is doing that, is Divine's world more like an open-source group therapy session?
That is a great way to put it.
What's fascinating here is how that reflects in the structure of their worlds. Chris operates in deep isolation, fiercely guarding the canon of CWCville, which is essentially a fictionalized, heavily policed version of Virginia.
Where Chris acts as a supreme deity and mayor, right?
Exactly, treating any outside input as a hostile threat. But Divine's Dice&I universe is fundamentally collaborative. Divine works with a whole IRL crew of friends to build the lore together, processing trauma to create a shared safe space.
Here's where it gets really interesting. When you compare their character designs, the contrast is just wild. In Chris's CWCville, there are these incredibly stark gender divides.
Oh, yeah. The male characters, which are mostly derivative hybrids of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pokemon, they handle all the fighting and action.
While the female characters are largely relegated to being romantic sweethearts, they're drawn with a heavy emphasis on visual fan service, wearing high heels with frequent panty shots.
Right, and the causality here is that CWCville's lore is deeply tied to Chris's personal grievances.
It's all revenge fantasies.
Yeah. Revenge fantasies against real-world enemies and simulating a relentless quest to find a romantic partner. It's world-building for the sake of absolute, uncompromising control.
Which makes Divine's pastel-coded universe so radically different. The characters in Dice&I aren't built for revenge at all. They're deeply emotionally complex.
You have Clover, a bisexual bunny actively dealing with severe trauma, or Ant, a pansexual femboy.
Yeah, Divine's lore is intentionally LGBTQ plus inclusive because it centers entirely on emotional resonance and healing.
The creative choice to make characters struggle with real trauma reflects a quest for community validation. It's not about defeating a troll, you know? It's about processing complex feelings through a proxy.
For you listening to this, understanding these creators isn't just niche internet history. It's a profound look into human psychology and how human beings construct alternate realities to process their own real-world struggles.
Absolutely. Both creators use immense world building to navigate life with autism. The divergence happens in the goal. Chris seeks ultimate control and escapism from an unmanageable physical reality, while Divine leverages fiction to seek connection and emotional grounding.
It brings us right back to that architectural blueprint we mentioned at the start. When a creator builds an entire universe in their mind, whether to completely escape their reality or to heal from it, at what point does that fictional house become more real to them than the physical one they were actually born into?